morning, everyone. Grand Rising, come rise with Jay. Waiting for 1,000 people to enter the room. How was you guys this weekend? Mine was amazing. Waiting for a moderator to come enter the room. Okay, so that is Emma V. Sunrise, which is a very good song, very amazing. Hi, Emma V. She's our friend from across the pond. That's London, guys. Sunrise, Sunrise is what it's called, or pillows, either one. All right, guys. So I wanted to address this topic of being a motherless child. Yes, I said it, a motherless child. So over the weekend, my beautiful daughter and amazing son-in-law made or created a song, and it's called, well, actually they put the song out, and it's called Motherless Child. Go check that out. It's on YouTube, Sean and Mel, or you can go to Facebook, Melanie Flood, to go check that out, guys. Oh, my God. Darn it. So the song is about being a child where the mother is on drugs and they are hungry, cold, and don't have their mother around. Now they have other family, but that does not make up for your mother not being around. So the song hurt me deeply, right? It was hard to listen to. It was very hard, right? It made me cry because I had to go back and relive. Good morning, kitten for free. Where's the kitten? Give it here. You know I love the kitties. Hi, kitten for free. You gotta know that coming here with that name. Yes, I love the kitties. Oh, I love that name. You are welcome in this place, honey. Good morning. Hello, sweetie. We got 34,000 people in the YouTube house. No 1,000 people in the Facebook house. My Jeep is so gay. The flip gay. Hey, what the Hey. As much as I love a good romping with the trolls, this is not the time, okay? Thank you. Hi, sweetie. Thank you, Laboa. And all right, so y'all go ahead and put your cities while you enter the room, and put some love on this video, please. Some likes too, if you'd like. Okay. Keep me in the algorithms. Okay. Your prostate burns. That is not. That's unfortunate, babe. OMG. Okay, so we're going to talk about that later. How you get your prostate nice and greasy and shiny and feeling amazing. Okay? I'm going to share some stuff with you. Okay? The song really hurt my feelings because it made me rethink all of the pain that my baby had to endure while I was out there sniffing dope, using drugs, like she said in the song, being raped, right? Because that happened a couple times, right? Being taken advantage of, right? Being got locked up a couple times, right? And guess what? When I got locked up those 2 times, it really, or both of them got thrown out because they wasn't supposed to have locked me up. But and then again, if you think about it, if I wasn't in them circles, then I wouldn't have ever got locked up, right? But they had to throw it out because one was for stealing my own vehicle, and the other one I forget what that was for. But anyway, I digress. The song was talking about being hungry, sometimes bouncing from house to house, being a motherless child. Now, I'm not trying to make myself look better than any other mother, but I can recall myself and my daughter having talks. Now, not listen, don't think because you have talks with your children that that's going to ease the pain, right? This is a process that these kids, and you got to be, listen, when your kids is going through that pain of that abandonment issues that they carry with them, still to this day, my daughter suffers with abandonment issues because it's clear. The pain runs deep. Go listen to the song, right? This is a deep pain. You know why? Because it's a generational curse. Because I suffered the same way. As my mother suffered the same way. As her mother suffered the same way. Listen, these are stories that I know from firsthand of my mother telling me how she suffered from abandonment issues. My grandmother telling me how she suffered from abandonment issues. These are generational curses that my daughter is breaking right here and right now. And the way her and her husband Sean sat there and wrote that song, I could tell, look, they ready to start healing. The healing has begun. I had to sit back yesterday and really think about all of the time when I wanted to be there for my daughter, but I just couldn't. I had to think about that, right? And I had to really go in and apologize to myself, right? I had to apologize to my daughter, right? On the inside. And I know she felt that. Just to let her know your mother wanted to be there. It's a lot of healing going on within me, right? This is why I don't mix with people, right? Because when you're in the healing process, sometimes you're gonna come off to people that's really not working on shit, or people that's done already worked on their shit and then forgot. You're gonna come off a little off key, right? Or the people just going about their daily life, just normal. They're just normal people going about their daily life. And you done had a life full of trauma. They don't know your trauma. They don't know what you don't want to. So when you act a certain way, they're gonna be like, this girl is stole off. Like, what is wrong with you? Good? You good? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get that. And sometimes I can say, no, right now I'm not good. Or sometimes I can say I'm amazing, right? Because it's not an all-in-one thing, process. You listen, that's what process is. You being processed, you being made over, right? But you got to take the first step and talk about it. Because if you don't talk about it, case in point. Now, because me and my daughter was going through this, so now this is in my algorithm. So Peach McIntyre and her mother is going through something similar, right? They had a video up, and the video said Peach McIntyre was saying how her mother never admitted to the stuff she did, admitted to, nothing that she did, and it really hurts her to her soul that her mother won't, admit that she did XYZ. I'm not gonna go into their business like out here like that, right? You gotta go to her channel because I'm not spilling nobody tea, with details. I'm just saying they had the same thing that we dealt with, me and my daughter dealt with, right? And somebody was telling Peach McIntyre mother, look, even if you didn't do XYZ, you should still apologize. Now, That's very interesting because my son-in-law said in his part of the song, look, only you can tell your story, right? So Peach McIntyre experienced exactly what she experienced in her mind, whether that is what happened in her mother's mind or whether that's not what happened in her mother's mind. But it actually happened to Peach McIntyre because look, whether it happened in her mother's mind, because all is mind, all is mental, honey. Me and you could be watching the exact same thing and have two different perspectives of what happened. So you know what the lie is? The lie is anything outside of you. That's the gag. This is why you have to go everywhere you have to go for healing is right here. You can't go nowhere else. You can't point fingers. You can point fingers. But when you start just admitting your truth and telling your story, your experiences, look, you got to do it without like trying to bash people, but you got to be honest about your truth and what it is that you went through, or else you will not heal. And after you go ahead and speak it out, what happened to you, how it made you feel, then you let the other person listen. If that other person is denying that, at least you said it. Now you can forgive that person because you done told that person, look, this is what I feel that you did. So now you're not sitting there like you waiting in the soup line waiting for that person for admissions because you see, look, they ain't even there. They saw something totally different from me. Now this absolves you, or this keeps you from having resentments because when you hold resentments to people, you're the one that feels it the most. So this is, they say the worst vice is advice, but this is my humble opinion to everybody who has suffered or feels like a motherless child. Yes, I've done told my mother of the things that I felt that was, hurting me as a child. How she perceived it, yes, it was different, but at least I spoke my truth. I was able to, in my mind, forgive what I thought was hurtful to me. I do take a lot of time to myself to heal, and you know, have I fully forgiven? That hurts. Have I fully forgiven? Sometimes I think I have fully forgiven, but then sometimes when I feel that hurt, I withdraw and I don't go over and I don't, you know what I mean? I don't go over. So have I fully forgiven? It's a process. It's a daily reprieve you get. It's not like all in one solution. Okay, when you feel like you don't forget that person, you gotta self-talk. You gotta positively self-talk. Listen, if you're not forgiving that person, you letting that person rule over your life. Go ahead for this moment. For this moment, because this all you got is right now. For this moment, I forgive. We have all, listen, I don't think it's one child that felt like they was loved perfectly. If it is, damn, good for you. I'm so happy. That must be an amazing feeling. But all that any parent is doing, I would hope, is their very best with what they have. You know what I'm saying? As a soul, a loving soul. You know what I'm saying? What I want to say is you're not alone. We all deal with trauma. When that trauma comes down on you, you're going to have to go inside and talk to God. Talk to that little child that was traumatized. And you give that child hugs. And you go in and you tell your parents on the inside, I forgive you for this moment, right? Because this is all you have is this moment. Right in this moment, I forgive you and I love you. So this is what I would hope that my daughter is doing for me. Is forgiving me for the abandonment, for for you'll see in her song when she talked about being locked in the basement when I was being raped. You'll hear that song on you'll hear that on her song, right? There is a very traumatizing thing that happened to me after that happened. I was re traumatized over and over and over again with that situation. I was re traumatized through my mom. Because my mom was so hurt that I wasn't supposed to leave the house, that she didn't come to the hospital to see me. So it devastated me. My grandfather came to get me from the hospital. That devastated me. And then the person that introduced me to this person, he was a family friend of a friend of mine. And they sided with him. That was traumatizing all over again. So I was traumatized on so many levels with that situation, right? And I keep that in the back of my mind, and but it resurfaces when somebody does anything that is like in any way, shape, or form, weird. You know what I'm saying? So, we're dealing with these traumas as women, as mothers, as parents. Even guys deal with this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, let's be patient with one another. You don't know what somebody is dealing with. You know, sweetie, my cousin is in the building. Hi, Tierra. Sweetie, good morning. You don't know what somebody is dealing with. So let's be patient with one another. Let's be kind to one another. Let's give each other our space to grow. Let's give each other our hugs when we need them, because a person will be able to let you know when they need a hug. And a person will be able to let you know when they need their space. So just let's be patient with one another and kind to one another. You know, you never know what people deal with. Homelessness, drug addiction, molestation, all this stuff that we deal with, right? I'm just giving you a backstory on generational traumas, right? So today, how is my life today? My life today is a fairy tale. It's a look. If you look at the life that I had before, right now, it's something out of a fairy tale, because I get my freedom. I have freedom. These are not tears of sadness, baby. Believe me. I have freedom today. I have freedom to get in the car and go to work without thinking, how am I going to get my drugs? Without thinking, oh, I need a cigarette. I got to have a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? So those two things are like, it's like levels, it's like bags being lifted up off of you. You know what I'm saying? Like Erica Badu say, pack light. That means, look, Deal with those vices, or those vices is going to deal with you. There's heaviness, right? What I'm working on now, the fork. Look, that's the gateway vice. That is the main, that's the coup de grace, baby. That fork. Once I deal with that fork, there are no limits. They say sky's the limit. No, there are no limits. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. Thank you guys for listening. Yes, there was some snot being slung. Yes, but I feel better. How about you? Thank you guys for coming. I wish you all a very amazing week, or strong. Look, words and sounds, baby. Look, days. Are you in the days of the week? Or are you in the times of the strong, right? These are the times of the strong man, right? The tall man, the mental tall man. All right, guys. I gotta go. Talk to you later. Wholeness, guys.